right, welcome back to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition. This is episode number 40, and I am back once again here at Red Morton Park with another very interesting topic I'm going to be discussing here today. So stick around for that. But before I get to today's topic, let me just mention I had a pretty cool day yesterday, spending it with my activity partner, per se. You folks can all think whatever you want to think about, what's going on between my activity partner and I. For the time being, we're just kind of, we're hanging out, we're doing some hikes, some walks, some other activities in a platonic way. Who knows where it goes down the road? But I was supposed to do a 13-mile hike yesterday, and my activity partner and I went to the hiking location, and we got there a little later than we wanted to, so we were only able to do 8 miles, but we did an 8-mile strenuous hike, and while I actually feel pretty good and, definitely enjoyed it, I'm a little bit tired, to be honest with you. So if this video here today sounds a little bit off, forgive me. I definitely wanted to get a video out here today because I didn't get one out there yesterday. I try to do a video on the weekdays. I try to do at least one video each day on the weekdays. Sometimes shit happens. Plus, it's a couple days after Christmas, and I've been catching up with some friends and family, so I may miss a day or so every now and then, so forgive me for that. But yeah, I definitely wanted to get this out here today for you folks. But yeah, I did an 8-mile hike, and it was amazing in the San Jose area. San Jose is about an hour south of San Francisco. It's a big major city where a lot of major high-tech companies are at, and they have some a beautiful open space on the west side of San Jose, and they put in this new trail a few years ago. They made this new trail a few years ago. That's just amazing. Lots of, rolling hills and stuff, up and down, lots of rocks, and there's a car that's like, trying to make a three-point turn. All right, anyway. Yeah, lots of rolling hills, rocks. It was a little bit muddy because it had rained the previous day. It was just an awesome hike. It was a real hike, and it was rated as a hard or difficult hike on the Alt Trails app that I use. So it was a great time there. So I'm kind of recovering from that here today, but I'm back to do my walk. Additionally, I want to throw out a shout out there to a gentleman that's been following me for a while. This gentleman was following me on my previous channel. He goes by, or formerly goes by, the username asystole810. And he actually sent me a couple of emails making me aware that I guess he's going to be withdrawing from all the BS and drama out on YouTube that he used to participate in. He paid me an apology, and he just wanted to kind of patch things up with me and let me know that he understands where I'm coming from. And he was discussing certain aspects of his behavior that he's not happy about. And I have to say, man, I really appreciate the email. What I will more than likely do is do a special video, more than likely tomorrow, if I get the chance. I'm hoping to get the chance to actually, go through that email line by line and share a little more in depth and, bid you a farewell the proper way. I know asystole810 and I, we've had our moments. We've gone back and forth on some things, but I really don't think he's a bad person. I really think he's somebody that, has been going through a lot. He's been going through a divorce. He has 3 children. And you know what? When you go through something like that, even as a man, it's going to throw your emotions out of whack because men do have emotions as well. Okay? And sometimes our emotions as a man will get the best of us. Even though we're supposed to be the strong one in the rock, we have feelings too. Okay? So more than likely tomorrow morning, asystole, and everyone else, if I get a good night's sleep and I feel good tomorrow, I will do a special, maybe 20 or 30-minute video to bid you farewell the right way and to just share more about my thoughts regarding your email and what's happened the past year out here on YouTube, or year and a half out here on YouTube, between my former channel and now my new channel, because I shut down my former channel about 4 months ago, for those of you that weren't aware of that. Okay, so that's about it. That's all of the updates I have so far. I may be doing some, actually one more thing, I may be doing a weekly or bi-weekly podcast with a gentleman named Manny Rivera, who I interviewed a couple weeks ago on my channel here, on my YouTube channel and my entire coaching network, because I do also post my videos on Facebook and my website. So going to work out the details with Manny soon and see if we're going to be doing a weekly or bi-weekly show on how to, better help people navigate through this crazy modern world that we all live in today. So stick around for that. Stick around and find out more about that, which is what I'm trying to say. All right. So with that being said, give me 1 second here. Just kind of pull through, because there are a few people enjoying the park out here in their cars, reading the newspaper in their car, and I don't want to, go by them with my shit. They're trying to get away from it all, just like I am. Like I mentioned before, these walks are very therapeutic to me. And, I do them not only to help you folks, but it just helps, myself, get everything off my chest on how I feel about many things. So anyway. All right, so the topic of today is navigating the modern world with Coach Eli. The Daily Walk Edition, episode number 40, is women. Wow, there's a lot of wind here, and I bet you can hear that. Oh boy, hopefully the windscreen's working on this microphone today. It's very, very windy out here today in beautiful Redwood City, California. The topic is women are being raised differently in today's modern world. Do men that want a family stand a chance? One more time. The topic is women are being raised differently in today's modern world. Do men that want a family even stand a chance? Wow, from what I've seen over the past, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 years, through personal experience of being around, young women in their late teens, early 20s. Okay, I was around one of my ex-girlfriend's teenage daughters, so I saw their experiences. And I've even talked to many women in their late teens, early 20s, online about their experiences. And if I had to give you the short answer, do men even stand a chance? More than likely not unless something changes within the system. And I'm going to give you a few examples here today about these experiences I've shared in talking with these young women in their late teens and early 20s, And again, they're just for example purposes. I'm not trying to criticize anybody. I'm not trying to criticize anyone's parental styles or style. I'm not trying to, you know, criticize these women. I'm just stating the facts. And I'm also going to be sharing why I think this is happening and how it's affecting, men that still believe in having a family life and want to be with a woman for the right reasons. So let me start off by sharing an example of someone that I recently met through a Discord group I've been a part of for maybe about a couple of weeks now or so. Most of you have been following me for a while know that I've recently connected with a YouTube content creator by the name of Mad Shangy. Mad Shangy runs a private Discord group. If you don't know what Discord is, it is an app and a website where you can invite people to join your private group. There's a general chat in there where everybody can chat. It's wide open. There's also a way you can, private message people, direct message people privately, or you can even go into a live group voice chat where you have like a party style voice chat with whoever's on the voice channel or the voice chat at that time. So within this Discord group, I'm not going to mention her name. I mean, the people in the group will know who I'm talking about. And I'm not saying anything negative here. I'm sharing this for example purposes, okay? I have a lot of respect for this young lady. There's a lady in there that a few days ago was discussing the fact that, the men that she's dated, they act like big fucking pussies nowadays. And I was like, wow, okay. I was kind of, talking to her, what's really going on. She goes, well, one of these guys, after she broke up with him, wrote her like either a 4-paragraph or 4-page like letter or essay on, how much he misses her and wants to be with her and this and that. And she was mentioning how it completely turned her off and repelled her, and she was laughing at it. I was like, wow. Wow, okay. Very, very interesting. And, I kind of went back and forth with her, and some of the others in the group went back and forth with her to kind of discuss this. It was just pretty interesting. This was a couple days ago. Okay, now today, let me move on by because there's a bunch of people that are coming by here. I don't want to interrupt my video. You know how people are when they see you with the selfie stick. They want to say, hey, are you vlogging? Are you vlogging? Yeah. So today, after I came back home after spending some time with my platonic friend, okay, I got onto the Discord, and this lady was there, and we were talking about some other things, and I was just kind of curious because I didn't know how old she was. I asked her, her age, and she said that she's 22, and I'm like, with no disrespect, oh, you're a young one, you're, I kind of just threw it in there saying that, yeah, you're a baby, just a joke, and I think she knew it was a joke as well. And right then and there, I was like, okay, I can now understand, why, she's having problems with men, and the men she dates, because, men her age, even if they're good guys and they want to learn how to be a good man, they still haven't had enough experience to understand what somebody my age understands in my 40s, or somebody even in their 30s that would understand as a man. Okay. And she got back to me and said, and got back to the group. It was in the general group chat, and said that doesn't matter their age. She dates younger and older men. And she said that even the older men, they don't know how to behave. They act like big fucking pussies as well. I'm like, okay. Yeah, no, I've seen that as well. So I'm like, okay, it's not just the men her age, it's pretty much all men. Okay. And then I went in further, asked her. I was kind of pushing it a little bit, not on purpose, you know. So to this lady out there, I have a lot of respect for you, and I have a lot of respect for everyone in the Discord group. But I'm just curious to know, you know, what a 20, what a woman in her 20s thinks today. What's her outlook today? So I went ahead and asked her, and I said, well, what are you ideally looking for? Are you just looking for someone to hang out with? Are you looking for a relationship? This and that. I was just kind of curious what a 22-year-old woman or any woman in her 20s that's out there dating today, that's a decent woman, what does she want? And she got back and said, I'm not quite sure what I want. Whatever happens, happens. I can't say what's going to happen, but I do know one thing for sure, that I never want to get married. And then I'm like, okay, wow. I said, you probably don't want kids as well. And I don't think she responded to that, but I don't think she wants kids. So even if the right man came around that, was a good, strong man, respected her, but respected himself at the same time, a man that's not a big fucking pussy, a man that she could respect, even if a man came around that she's attracted to and can respect, she already knows that she doesn't ever want to get married. And even though I'm sure she'll respond to this through the comments and let us know, she probably doesn't want kids either. So even if a good man came around that wanted to, get to know her, and if things were to click and they hit it off, and let's say that they fell in love, okay, and let's say this man wanted kids and wanted the family life and wanted all that, that's not something that she wants. It's her choice, no big deal. I totally respect her choice. Okay. But why? Why does she not want that? Where did she learn that from? Because I firmly believe that this woman, and I don't know her too well, she seems to be a pretty cool, decent, down-to-earth woman, and I totally respect her. But why would she not, want to give a man a good chance, or give a good man a chance, if she's attracted to him and things click, to have that family life? And why at the age of 22 she's not thinking about this? See, women, she even mentioned that at the age of 22, I'm not thinking about that. And I got back to her and I said, well, my mother was pregnant with me when she was 22 and married. So obviously the times have changed. Because it used to be before feminism, which started probably, well, it's been going on for a while, but before women got equal rights and they were welcomed in the workforce about 55 years ago, before that time, for centuries and centuries, and way back until the beginning of time, a lot of women were already married and having children in their late teens and early 20s. And today, if you even talk to a woman about, hey, what are you looking for? What are you open to? And you ask her that in her late teens, early 20s, she's unsure of what she wants, or has already decided that she doesn't want to ever get married or have children. She probably wants to more so focus on her career. A lot of women today are more career focused than family focused. So the dynamic has totally changed. So why is this happening? Well, I'm going to share another story with you folks here that I've kind of shared before, that will probably shed some light on why I feel this is happening. Okay? Excuse me. In a previous relationship, Jesus Christ, I'm sure you heard that vehicle there. That's like an old Jeep with no muffler that peeled out of the parking lot of the park and just gunned it down a residential 25 zone. Where are the fucking cops when you need them, man? These little shits here, they have driver's licenses nowadays, and they drive like shit and one day they're going to kill somebody. I can't stand the way some kids drive nowadays. You know, kids back in my days drove like shit, but not like they do today. Today they're just out of fucking control. It's ridiculous. So, in a previous relationship, I was dating someone that had a 17-year-old teenage daughter. I spent a lot of, time. Well, I wouldn't say a whole lot of time with this particular ex's 17-year-old daughter, but she did come out with us sometimes. And whenever she would come out with us, I would ask her, how's your dating life going? Are you meeting any decent guys or any good guys at your school? Just having a conversation. She's like, no, we just kind of hang out, this and that, right? We just kind of, hang out and this and that. I said, so there's no dating going on? No, we just kind of hang out. We all hang out in the group. All right. Well, interestingly enough, as the weeks went by after that initial conversation, I would see one or two guys that would come over to, this particular ex's place to hang out with her 17-year-old daughter. And these guys would walk in through the back door, and I was usually downstairs working on something, helping my ex with something. And these guys would walk in, I'd see them and say, hey, dude, how you doing? And they would just kind of shake their head, and they would walk in all nervous and shit. They looked good, they looked like decent men. And I looked at them, and I'm like, wow, this guy's like, I can read his body language. He feels all shy and nervous, which means he's going to probably act like a big fucking pussy. And he's not going to stand up for what he believes in. But a lot of these guys, from what I heard through my ex, they really want a relationship, or they wanted a relationship with their 17-year-old daughter. But she just, doesn't want a relationship at this point, at least. She's more focused on other things. And I'm like, I just don't understand it. It's like, I don't get what's going on. Why is that happening? And my ex, said that's just the way it is nowadays. My daughter is more focused on, figuring out what college she wants to go to and what she wants to do as a career. Okay, so women are more career focused now than dating focused. Okay, no problem. So what are they doing with guys nowadays? Oh, they're just hanging out in a group. Oh, hanging out in a group. Okay. All right, what else are they doing? Well, I think you know what they're doing, my ex would say. I said, okay. So basically, they're hooking up, they're having sex, and they're saying that we're just friends in a group. Okay. Very, very interesting. And it wasn't easy to have this conversation with that particular ex, because I wasn't trying to pry into her personal life or into her daughter's personal life. I was just trying to figure out what's going on with our youth nowadays. I would always push the envelope. I'm the kind of guy that pushes the envelope to learn the facts about what's going on, so I can share these facts in my stories without mentioning names, obviously, so everyone else can have a better understanding of what's happening out there. Okay? To kind of sum it up, without going on and on about this, basically it's become a hookup culture. Women out there in their late teens and early 20s, they still enjoy the company of a man. They still enjoy sex. They have the sexual needs. But they don't want the commitment. And to me, that's kind of weird, because when I was growing up, it used to be frowned upon for women to be hooking up and just having sex with guys. Like, women back in my days were basically very cautious to sleep with a man because, if the man was just trying to manipulate them to have sex with them, they would feel weird about that. They would feel like they were sluts. They would feel like they were being used. Women had a lot more respect for themselves and their bodies, and just respect for themselves in general, back in my days, than they do nowadays. Today, it seems like this culture of hooking up is normal. It seems like it's something that most young women in their late teens and early 20s and throughout their 20s would prefer to do rather than date a man for the right reasons, get to know the man, fall in love with the man, possibly marry the man, and have a family with the man. Women are not thinking about a family at all. They're not. And I pardon the wind noise. I do have a windscreen on this mic, but sometimes when the wind is just so crazy, like it was a second ago, you may end up hearing it, but you should still be able to hear my voice when that's happening. So my apologies. But women are not thinking about their future nowadays. They're not thinking about their family life, their future family life, or having a family. So what does that do for men? How have men, well, before we get to that, why is this happening to women? It's because of the way they're being raised. Let's get into that. Okay? And I'm not here to criticize anyone's parental styles at all. But I have friends, I have many friends that have teenagers and teenage daughters. Not just this particular ex that I'm using as an example here. I've seen in many different cases how many different parents are raising their teenage daughters. And basically what they're doing is they're letting them get away with everything. They're not disciplining them. They're allowing them to go out there and do whatever they want to do. And when I've asked them, all these people in the past, about why they're just letting them do whatever they want to do, it is because they tell me, well, even if we tell them not to do something, they're going to do it anyway. Well, that's true. Because I was young once too, and when my parents told me to not do something, I would always do it. But that doesn't mean that you still can't tell them how you feel about what they're doing, even if they're going to keep on doing it. Because when I was young and growing up, even though there were many times where I disobeyed my parents and didn't listen to what they were saying, and I went ahead and did almost everything they told me not to do, at one point I learned my lesson. Because when I continued to do those things that my parents knew weren't right for me down the road, when I finally realized what I was doing was not good, I referred back to what my parents were saying, and it more so solidified the fact that, it was the wrong thing to do. Even if your kids won't listen to you, even if you know your kids won't listen to you if you tell them to not do something that you know is not right, you should still tell them how you feel over and over again. Even if they go out there and disobey you, because at some point they're going to have a reference point of you telling them this, and when they finally figure out that what they're doing is not the right thing, then, they're going to more so, understand that it was not the right thing. They're going to be able to refer back to it. Okay? Now, unless you're a parent out there that feels it's okay, if you're any parent out there, I'm speaking in general right now, not any particular parent, in general, if you're any parent out there that has teenage daughters, okay, unless you feel that it's okay for your daughters to go out there and hook up with guys without commitment and hook up with guys for casual sex, unless you think that's okay, then why would you not want to share with them how you feel about it? Okay? Even though you know that they're going to go and do it anyway. That's what parents are doing nowadays. They are not disciplining their kids. They are not telling their kids how they feel about a certain something, so their kids continue to do it more and more. And then their kids begin to see or begin to think that that's just the way life's supposed to be, normal. And this is the way that, things are nowadays between women and men. We're more about a hookup culture and not about commitment. If you don't tell your kids that hooking up is not the right thing, especially while they're teenagers, what type of behaviors are they going to learn when they get older? They're going to carry on that behavior throughout their adult life. And even if they do get married, they're going to be more prone to cheat because of the culture they lived while they were young, because you didn't tell them it was wrong. The way women are being raised nowadays by their parents is not good, in my opinion, from what I've seen. It's destroying us. Come on now. Seriously, think about this. Seriously, think about this. I see so many young women out there nowadays going on Tinder and going on these dating apps. And you ask them, what are they looking for? Oh, we're just looking to hang out. What do you mean by hang out? Oh, just hang out. I'm like, well, what do you see in your future? I'm not worried about my future right now. I'm just looking to hang out. Whatever will be, will be. If you even go near asking a woman, does she want to have a family and a future, with a guy, she gets immediately turned off. Women don't even want to talk about relationships anymore nowadays. They don't want to talk about it. If you start to talk about it, they frown upon you. They think you're like some big fucking pussy or something like that, which it doesn't make you a big fucking pussy as a man to know that you want to have a family, get married one day, and settle down with somebody. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. What makes you a big fucking pussy is if you conform to a woman's wants and needs at your own expense, and you put her on a pedestal and you respect her more than you respect yourself. But if you respect yourself and respect her at an equal level, there's nothing wrong with you wanting a real relationship, nothing wrong with you, wanting to cohabitate with a woman, nothing wrong with you, wanting to have a family, okay? But most women nowadays, in their early, late teens, early 20s, they don't want that. And they don't want to talk about it. They just want to have fun. A lot of these women, these young women nowadays, are behaving worse than how guys used to be. And there are still a lot of guys out there that are players, that are looking for just sex, but women have become worse. They become worse because now they're more career focused, they're more focused on themselves, and they've been empowered through this, this world of social conditioning, modern social conditioning and feminism, to feel like they don't need a man for anything. Then, interestingly enough, as they get older, and I see this with women my age, there are a lot of women like in their mid to late 30s, early to mid 40s, that are single, never been married, and have no kids. And their profiles say that, I'm looking for a real relationship, no hookups, and I want children if possible. And these are women like between 35 and 45. And in the community I'm involved with, the MGTOW community I'm involved with, kind of sort of involved with, even though I'm not MGTOW, okay? They call these women, I'm hearing a helicopter up above. Oh, pardon me. Damn, just so much noise today. Coach Eli has so many distractions here today, so forgive me. They call these women that are like 35 to 45 women that have hit the wall. They say that, women will hit the wall. I guess, once they hit 30 or 35 at the latest, women hit the wall at that point, or maybe by 40. And they also say that a woman's sexual market value goes down as they get older. While those statements are for the most part true, I may look at things a little bit differently, but I understand, where the theory of the wall came from. Okay? At some point, a woman's biological clock's going to expire and she's not going to be able to have children. So if she wants to have children in a family, she should start doing it as early as possible, in her early 20s, maybe by her early 30s at the latest. Because as a woman gets older, she produces fewer and fewer eggs, and, it becomes less likely that she'll be able to get pregnant as she gets older, even if she's still producing eggs. So yeah, a lot of these women, by the time they figure out that, okay, well, now I'm fucking 35, 40, 45 years old, now I want to have a family, and I want to have kids, now it's too fucking late. And I'm here to just put it out there and say, hey, look, if you want a family, you got to figure that out, when you're younger. And that all stems back to the way that you were raised by your family and by the society and culture that you're currently living in. And in today's day and age, the society and culture that we're living in is more about women being empowered in the workforce and focusing more on women's rights and equal pay for equal work and all that shit. We're more focused on that than teaching women, good traditional morals, values, and ethics. So what does this do for you guys out there? Okay, let me see, how far are we gone here? We're at 37 minutes. We're going to wrap this up soon. For you decent guys out there, even you guys in high school and in your early 20s that have tried to date women, and you're good, decent guys. Okay? You're good looking, you're decent guys. You're still learning about female nature at that age, but you're decent guys. These women may sleep with you once or twice, then they stop calling you. You wonder what the fuck's going on. Do you stand a chance if you want the traditional family life, if you want to have a family and get married? And my answer to you is that your chances are far less now in today's day and age than they were, 50, 60 years ago. Because I'll tell you, I'm 45, and I've been trying to find that for the last 20-something years. And quite frankly, I've been dealing with this same shit that you folks are dealing with now. And it's been hard enough for me, but it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse over the past 5 years. So while I already had it bad, because feminism was already, in full force, okay? While I had it bad, and it's still difficult to find the right one. It's been difficult for me, during my time. It's worse for you guys now. But what's great about, the current time now compared to, when I was younger, is that there's a lot more information out there through guys like me talking about it, through people like me talking about this and making you aware of what's going on. So that way you don't waste too much time, on one particular woman, for example. If you're dating a woman, and let's say, she wants to sleep with you or wants to just hang out with you occasionally, you can ask her right away and say, hey, you know what? What are you looking for in the future? Well, I'm not worried about my future right now. I just want to hang out and whatever happens. If you get a woman that responds to you in that way, and you're looking for something real, even if you're a teenager in high school or you're in your 20s, and you want something real, okay? And even if, that woman is coming to you and it's hot and she wants to sleep with you and just wants to be your fuck buddy, if that's not what you really want as a guy, don't have sex with her just because she's hot and cute. Because you're going to get emotionally attached to her, and she's got no emotion invested in you because she's already pretty much made it clear, in other words, that she's just looking to hang out. She's not looking for anything serious. She's not thinking about a future commitment. So for you guys out there that still want the family life and the traditional life, you got to be very clear and upfront, because, yeah, there are still some women, even at a young age, in their teens and early 20s, that still want to have a family and still have some traditional values. But they're a lot harder to find nowadays. I will say probably 1 out of every 20 women, if that. I'd probably say less than 10% of the women out there, know that they want that in their teens and early 20s, which is how it used to be back in the days of traditionalism. And those are the types of women that I feel are being raised properly and being raised the right way, and they're not being, confused by modern day feminism, by the way the media is portraying things to be nowadays, by the way, people are portraying things on YouTube, alternative media, and other aspects. A lot of these young women out there that prefer the hookup culture over, having a relationship with a man, a real relationship and a possible future with a man, are seeing this, through the media, are seeing this through, like I said, YouTube, through the mainstream media. They're reading about this online. They're talking about it with their friends. And their parents are not talking with them about it at all. They're just kind of letting them be. Their parents are not even raising them in the way that the parents, live their life, even if their parents have had a good traditional marriage. I know many people that have had a great traditional marriage that have teenage daughters. And their daughters are going through this hookup culture. They're living the hookup culture because the parents are not talking with the daughter about this and saying that, hey, you know what? Is this what you really want to do with yourself? Do you really want to go out there and just, be with men in that way? Do you have any self-respect for yourself? There's nothing wrong with telling your teenage daughters or even your sons that, hey, have some self-respect. Don't go out there and just use people for sex. Again, a long time ago, maybe not in today's day and age, but even 10, 20, 25 years ago, if women were out there just looking for sex, they were referred to as sluts, as hoes. They were really fucking frowned upon. But nowadays, it's like embraced, it seems like. I mean, maybe people aren't coming out directly and embracing it and saying it, but that's what's happening. That's the same thing. It's when parents are not talking with their kids about this hookup culture not being right, it's the same thing as embracing it without saying it to embrace it. It's a big fucking problem. Okay? It raises your young girls and your young women to not have proper manners, to not have good morals, values, and ethics, to not have self-respect. Sex, in all honesty, is a beautiful thing between a man and a woman, and it should be shared by two people that love each other and care for each other and are emotionally bonding together. But now, sex has become more of a recreational activity. That's not the way the good Lord meant sex to be. Now, some of you believe in God, some of you don't. I still love you whether you believe or not, but I know most of you do. And most of you know I'm right. We have become a culture of recreational sex rather than focusing on creating wonderful relationships and emotional bonds in the ways that life was meant to be. So to you guys out there, I keep hearing a lot of shit, a lot of noise because it's windy. To you guys out there, even you young guys in high school that just wish you can get a second or third date, and you're confused because, you asked the hot chick out on a date, she was cool with you, she made it easy for you to have sex with you. You had sex with her, and now you want to see her again, and now she doesn't want to see you again after she had sex with you. What do? How does that make you feel? It makes you wonder what the fuck you did wrong. And in all honesty, you did nothing wrong. You did nothing wrong. It's just that the women that do that you may encounter some of those women, throughout your life just weren't raised the right way with the right morals, values, and ethics. And in my honest opinion, quite frankly, they just don't have a lot of respect for themselves. If they're going to put themselves out there and recreationally sleep with men because they just don't want a commitment. They want to focus more on college. They want to focus more on their work. Nothing wrong with focusing on college, focusing on work. Nothing wrong with making something out of yourself as a woman nowadays with your equal rights. Okay? But don't forget, our main purpose out here on this planet is to procreate and cohabitate and live happily ever after. I know a lot of the people in the MGTOW community are going to frown upon me for saying this, but again, I'm just stating this for example purposes. I'm stating the facts of what the purpose of life was meant to be. I'm not trying to give advice on what anyone should do. You want to get married, it's up to you. You never want to get married, it's up to you. You want to, have fuck buddies, it's up to you. Or friends with benefits, or whatever else you want to call it. Recreational sex, whatever else you want to call it. You want to do that, it's up to you. I'm just stating the facts on the purpose of life. And like I mentioned in many videos, as I walk back to my car now before I wrap this up, is that, look, our purpose on this planet is to procreate. And with more and more women being indoctrinated into this culture of where they're more into a hookup world, they're all on birth control. Okay, so even if you wanted to get them pregnant, you couldn't, because a lot of women now, they bulletproof their birth control. They use IUDs, they use the shot, it's no longer about the pill. There are birth control methods out there right now where, you put a copper IUD, in there, and you don't have to worry about getting pregnant for 5 to 10 years. Okay, you have to be careful for STDs, but you don't have to worry about getting pregnant. So even if you want to get a woman pregnant nowadays, you can't. She's bulletproof in her body. So basically, women don't want to procreate anymore for the most part. Now, I'm not saying all women, but it seems like most don't. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen over the next few hundred years? Or maybe 500 years or so? The population is going to dwindle because people are going to stop reproducing. And then, human beings are going to become extinct like fucking dinosaurs. Is that where we want to, take the human race? Is that what we want to do? Do we want to stop the natural purpose of life over modern day feminism and what it's done to our culture? I'm really saddened by all of this. I'm really saddened by the behavior of many women nowadays. Now, I'm not being disrespectful to any women in general, and for the most part, I can't even blame the women that are doing this because they were taught this either through their parents, and maybe not taught through their parents, maybe by their parents not disciplining them. They felt like they could do whatever they want to do, and they see their friends doing this. They see people in the mainstream media doing this. Okay? A lot of our young women are not getting the right information nowadays. They're not being raised right. You would have never seen young women behave as promiscuous as they are today in their late teens, early 20s. Back in the days, back 50 plus years ago, you would have never seen that. But today, it's happening on every fucking corner. Now look, if you're a woman and you want to sleep with 100 men, it's your choice. If I want to sleep with 100 women, that's my choice. But I have a lot more self-respect for myself than to do that. And quite frankly, I enjoy making love to one woman, one at a time. Now, don't get me wrong, I can fuck like a champion too. It's not just about the word making love because, that you say that word, it can be kind of boring, but you know what I mean. I have respect for myself and the women I'm with, and I appreciate women for who they are more than just a piece of ass. I'm a man saying that. I'm a man saying that. I appreciate a woman for more than just a piece of ass. But I ask you women out there, do you have self-respect anymore? For your body, for your temple? Okay? And if you have self-respect for yourself, okay, then why are you having a lot of recreational sex? Because you have wants and needs that need to be fulfilled? Because you're stressed out? And you feel like, getting fucked really good is gonna make you feel better? Why give up on men? Why is our culture giving up on men? Why are young women giving up on men and good relationships in addition to what you're trying to accomplish with your goals and dreams? Whether it be going to college or getting into the career of your choice. Why can't you balance that out? Men have always balanced that out. You women want equal rights. If you really want to, use your equal rights, then you should be able to balance things out in the same ways that men have been able to balance them out. Men have been able to balance work and personal life. And from what I've noticed, I'll wrap up with this. This is part of the problem. Maybe I'll do another video on this. Women cannot seem to balance out their work and personal life. They get caught up with their work, and then they have no time to date. So what do? They just hook up with men randomly every so often. Come on over, let's have sex for 2 hours. Okay, get out and leave, dude, because I got to go to work tomorrow. That's what's happening. Women cannot balance their work and personal life. They can't. The one thing that women cannot juggle is a work and personal life. Now, there are a few that can. And those are the types of women that I've dated, but they are very fucking rare. Okay? So I'll leave you guys out there with this. You guys out there that are looking to date a woman for the right reason. If you're in your teens or 20s or even your early 30s and you've been trying to find the one, be very direct, be very open, very honest initially with what you're looking for. Ask them. Okay, what are you looking for? If they ask you what do you mean by that, then say, are you relationship minded, or what are you open to at this point in your life? What's your schedule like? Okay, don't be afraid to ask women if they are ready and available for a relationship, if that's what you want. Especially if you meet them online and in their profile they say looking for a relationship. If they say that, you got to be upfront with them. If you're on a date with them, you got to be upfront with them and find out what they're looking for. And if you feel that their answer is hogwash or wishy-washy, oh well, I'm just kind of looking to see where things go. I get that. I know you're looking to see where things go, but ideally, where's your head and heart at? Are you relationship minded? Well, if it gets there, if they don't seem excited about wanting to, have a relationship, then assume that they're not the right person and move on to the next. And keep going on dates and keep meeting people till you find someone that's going to meet you at your level and wants what you want. And that's how I'm going to wrap up this video here today. I think it was long enough. 53, almost 54 minutes. All right, folks, I'm going to enjoy another, 3 or 4 laps around the park here today. Then go home and upload this, maybe get on the Discord for a little bit, and, plan some more future interviews and videos to come here on Coach Eli's channel. If you stick with Coach Eli, I promise you, folks, I will share stories that will knock your socks off, that you're going to learn from, which is what I'm trying to say. And these stories are going to allow you to have the best possible shot of navigating through this modern world, this crazy modern world that we all live in today, and hopefully allow you to accomplish whatever your heart desires. With that being said, have a good one, and I'll talk to you all soon. See you next time. Wow.